Dog neglect arrest. An investigation into neglect at a rescue shelter in Sugar Camp leads to a woman being taken into custody. And bridge questions. Fair number of bridges in Wisconsin could use some improvements. The news starts now.
Your local news and weather from where you live. Newswatch 12 Midday starts now.
Thanks for joining us for Newswatch 12 Midday. I'm Dakota Sherrick. Earlier this month, police seized 39 dogs at an animal rescue shelter in Sugar Camp. Now, Stephanie Schneider has been arrested in connection with the investigation into It Matters to One animal rescue. The Oneida County Sheriff's Department tells us Schneider was arrested for failing to provide food, water, mistreating animals, and obstructing law enforcement. Her first hearing was scheduled for February 27th. Animals were removed from the animal rescue February 6th and taken to the Oneida County Humane Society. 3 weeks earlier, a humane officer with the Oneida County Sheriff's Office had gotten several complaints of neglect at the animal rescue. The officer went in and found a pit bull mix that needed medical help. That discovery led to an inspection at the animal rescue and the removal of the dogs. And, you know, I noticed this morning it has been a lot warmer today. How long is that going to continue?
Hey, Dakota. Yeah, we've been seeing some mild temperatures across the region this morning. Temperatures early this morning around sunrise were around 25 degrees, just shy of what our average high temperature is for today. Right now, you can see in Sky 12 Live in Rhinelander, not a cloud in the sky. Very sunny out there. We'll continue with those clear skies through the rest of the day. Those temperatures right now are in the 40s across the region. Look at this, 43 in Rhinelander, 40 in Tomahawk, 39 in Wausau. Temperatures are going to be rising slightly into the upper 40s by the afternoon. Winds out of the south ushering in that warmer air, and the radar dead quiet right now. Nothing going on there. We'll see clear skies through the afternoon. So your afternoon planner looks like this, mostly sunny skies through the afternoon with temperatures rising into the upper 40s. I'll have more in my full forecast just a few minutes. Dakota?
Thanks, Ryan. Every day, 7,800 cars pass over the Highway 51 bridge, spanning Highway 64 in Merrill. But it's one of hundreds of northern Wisconsin bridges labeled structurally deficient. In a new study, the American Road and Transportation Builders Association says 10% of our bridges in our region meet that description. Bridges like the one in Merrill concern a state road building advocacy group. The Transportation Development Association of Wisconsin says the results of the National Bridge Study are not surprising, but they are troubling.
It's just one more data point of the condition of our roads and our bridges that's pointing out again that we can't put this problem off any longer. And the longer we do, the more expensive it's going to be, and eventually we could be putting safety at risk.
Plans have been in the works for years to make major improvements on the Merrill Bridge. The state DOT could start construction as soon as 2019.
Overall, the DOT has been doing a good job overseeing the projects and contracting with the private sector to get them done, but they really are suffering at a lack of funding.
According to the study, Wisconsin ranks 17th in the country for structurally deficient bridges. Real-life loons floating on lakes is a common sight when the ice melts away. But a 7-foot loon on a lake, not so much. The Squash Lake Ice Association is holding its ice contest again on Squash Lake. The goal is to guess when the ice will melt and when the giant loon will drop and float on the lake. A special clock attached to the loon records the exact date and time it drops. The winner gets to keep half the money from ticket sales, and the other half will help fight water milfoil on Squash Lake.
It's been here since 2009. That's when it was first discovered. This year's point intercept survey, which is a way they check to see where it is, found no milfoil. What that says is that we've done a very good job in keeping it under control. And so we want to keep that effort up.
Mehring says the best way to see the loon up close on Squash Lake is to snowshoe, snowmobile, or ice fish. You need to buy a ticket to make a guess on when the loon will drop and float. We'll have more information on how to get a ticket on our website, wjfw.com. A suspended University of Wisconsin-Madison student accused of sexual assault should enter police today. 20-year-old Alec Cook is accused of assaulting and harassing 10 women. He faces 21 charges that include strangulation, sexual assault, stalking, and false imprisonment. His attorneys have claimed some of the alleged assaults didn't happen and that others were consensual. Defense attorneys believe the harassment and stalking charges are overblown. Cook is due to appear in Dane County Circuit Court this afternoon to enter pleas to the charges. President Donald Trump praises his performance during Thursday's news conference in a series of tweets this morning. The president tweeting, "Thank you for all the nice statements. Rush Limbaugh said one of the greatest ever." NBC's Peter Alexander reports.
I love this. I'm having a good time doing it.
President Donald Trump unfiltered.
The headlines are going to be, Donald Trump rants and... I'm not ranting anymore.
In his first solo news conference, the president not holding back, defending his performance during a frenetic 4 weeks in office.
I inherited a mess. It's a mess.
Repeatedly accusing the media of distorting his record.
I see stories of chaos. Chaos. Yet it is the exact opposite. This administration is running like a fine-tuned machine.
Announcing he'll sign a new executive order on immigration next week, while blaming federal judges for blocking the implementation of his original travel ban.
We had a very smooth rollout of the travel ban, but we had a bad court. Got a bad decision.
Facing mounting questions about his administration's alleged ties to Russia.
I have nothing to do with Russia. I told you. I have no deals there. I have no anything.
The president insisted he had no contacts with Russia during the campaign, but deflected questions about whether some of his advisors had.
So you're not aware of any contacts during the course of the election?
How many times do I have to answer this question?
Can you just say
Russia
yes or no
is
on
a
it?
ruse.
Mr. Trump also addressing the firing of his former national security advisor, Mike Flynn, who misled Vice President Pence about discussing sanctions with Russia.
He was just doing his job. The thing is, he didn't tell our vice president properly, and then he said he didn't remember. So either way, it wasn't very satisfactory to me.
Later pressed by NBC's Kristen Welker.
Did you direct Mike Flynn to discuss sanctions with the Russian ambassador
No, I didn't.
prior to your inauguration?
No, I didn't. I didn't direct him, but I would have directed him because that's his job.
The president then blaming Flynn's resignation on leaks.
I've actually called the Justice Department to look into the leaks. Those are criminal leaks.
Meanwhile, the White House says retired Vice Admiral Robert Harward has declined an offer to be Trump's national security advisor. And 4 months after his upset victory over Hillary Clinton, the president repeatedly brought up his former rival.
Nobody mentions that Hillary received the questions to the debates. Hillary Clinton did a reset, remember?
Finally, a fact check, the president boasting about his electoral win, falsely claiming it is the biggest margin of victory since Ronald Reagan, despite the fact that Presidents George H.W. Bush, Clinton, and Obama all exceeded him.
Why should Americans trust you when you accuse the information they receive of being fake when you're providing information that...
Well, I don't know. I was given that information. I've seen that information around.
Some students in Three Lakes take up a challenge to put down their phones. Coming up on Newswatch 12 Midday, we'll tell you about the face-to-face challenge.
Plus, mild temperatures out there today. We'll continue to see mild weather through the weekend. All more on the winter warm-up right after the break. We're going to be in the 50s and 40s through the rest of the week here.
I just can't believe how warm it's going to get.
It's very warm out there. It feels great.
Yeah, definitely. I'm excited about it. But now it's time to take a look at what's going on in the Northwoods. Test your knowledge of trivia. Calvary Baptist Church in Rhinelander will hold a trivia night Saturday at 6:30 p.m. Enter a team of up to 6 people for $25. The top 3 teams get prizes. Proceeds benefit the New Dawn Pregnancy Center in Woodruff. Call 715-362-4792.
And taste some delicious soup while helping the homeless. The Empty Bowls fundraiser happens Saturday in Tomahawk. Drop by the St. Mary's Corpus Christi Center from 4:30 to 6:30. A free will offering will be accepted. For $10, you can get a decorated bowl. Proceeds benefit Our Sisters Homeless Shelter. Call Tina at 715-224-3521.
And if you want to submit an area event to see on the air, you must go to our website, wjfw.com. Follow the links as you see on the screen. The link is on the top right side of the page where you can click on area events. That's where you can view other events or submit one. Some people think young people would never voluntarily give up their phones, but Three Lakes junior and senior high school students did just that this week. They put down their phones for what they're calling a face-to-face challenge. Newswatch 12's Felicia Ashley explains.
About 40 students handed in their phones Thursday morning and won't get them back until Friday afternoon.
Thought I could do it, and I didn't think it was that big of a deal, but then when I actually did it, I'm like, okay, I really need my phone now.
But 16-year-old Kayla and her classmates stayed committed to the challenge.
Showing awareness because technology is kind of being overused, and it can be used, but sometimes it's abused, so we're trying to limit that.
Three Lakes schools are a lot quieter today. They're putting down their phones for 28 hours so they can have more face-to-face interactions with each other without any distractions. Hello?
Shutting down their phones and, of course, the many apps wasn't as easy as they thought.
No tears, more so, worry about those Snapchat streaks and everything, keeping those up.
For those of you who don't know what Snapchat is, it's an app on your phone that lets you send pictures and messages to your friends that disappear in 24 hours. And something a lot of students miss the most.
The worst part for me would be my Snapchat streaks because everyone knows that they're important, and I feel like I can't, talk to my parents if there's an emergency or something, but I know I can call them at school.
Snapchat streaks and just looking at Instagram and Facebook.
Students who decided to lock up their phones all put $2 into a pool. Everyone who resists snapping for the full 28 hours gets a piece of the pie. Before the challenge, some students felt they needed their phones for moments when they felt insecure.
Just sitting at the lunch table, all my friends left and I was only sitting at the lunch table, and I thought I was so awkward and I just wanted to play on my phone.
But putting their phones away gave these students a chance to see something that doesn't exist on their screens.
I'm getting out there more, talking to new people that I normally don't talk to.
It's just going to help us in the long run in life, so it was a really good thing to do.
The students challenged themselves to come face to face with things that don't fit in the palm of their hand. We're covering the news in Three Lakes. Felicia Ashley, Newswatch 12.
We may be in the dead of winter, but the weather across the country doesn't necessarily match the season. While the Northeast is seeing typically wintry conditions, many on the West Coast are getting hit with torrential rain and floods. Meanwhile, people in the South return to their homes after a large brush fire. Reed Binion reports.
Communities from coast to coast are getting hit with intense and very differing weather events, from landslides and flood watches on the West Coast to fires in the South and near-record snowfall in the North.
So tell me about your 40.
We've been going in there for a while to hide from our uncle.
Children in parts of Maine making the most out of the state's second highest snow depth on record, 79 inches covering the ground. 1,500 miles to the south in Polk County, Florida, a brush fire scorched roughly 2,000 acres, destroying multiple homes. Hundreds of evacuated residents allowed to return after the blaze was contained. Meanwhile, on the West Coast, upwards of 20 million people affected by flood watches in Southern California, a dangerous storm set to bring torrential rainfall to the area. The rain also causing concern to the north for communities near the Oroville Dam, where officials are monitoring a spillway that sustained damage and forced mass evacuations this week.
I do not have any information to suggest that the threat level has increased, necessitating an imminent evacuation.
Wet conditions also contributing to a mudslide in California.
Caltrans has been doing a great job. However, they're dealing with a big job. The mud's very unstable, and it's created some traffic problems.
And that wasn't the only landslide Thursday. Another one hitting in Washington State, shutting down northbound lanes on Interstate 5. I'm Reed Binion reporting.
Investigators believe a former doctor in north central Wisconsin sexually assaulted patients during appointments. Coming up on Newswatch 12 at 5, Wilton Cauldron should enter pleas to charges today in Portage County Court. Join us tonight for Newswatch 12 at 5. And a popular game will be making a change. Monopoly is saying goodbye to an iconic token. Monopoly owner Hasbro has revealed the thimble token will be removed from the game. This comes after 4 million people voted to decide which 8 tokens should be part of the next version of the game. Voters were given more than 50 options. They included old favorites and new designs.
Hasbro will unveil all 8 tokens March 19th, the day it calls World Monopoly Day. You know, I was always a horse figurine guy, and I like that one the best. But here on Sky 12 Live, plenty of sunshine out there right now. The radar is showing just that, not much going on. We'll continue to see mostly sunny skies across the region this afternoon. Temperature-wise, up in the 40s here, 43 in Rhinelander, making our way up to the mid to upper 40s this afternoon. Your 7-day forecast, plenty of 40s and 50s in there with a chance for rain Monday, but very mild for this time of year. So it's going to feel very warm out there, and it's going to be a great weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Well, everybody have a great day. Join us again this afternoon for Up North at 4.